So it looks like Diego is logging in. So I'm going to go ahead and start transitioning and introduce our next activity and last event for the day. So again, welcome all. So glad to have you here. This is one of my favorite parts of our Rising Scholar Symposium. If you're just joining us for the first time today, this is our second annual Rising Scholars Symposium. It centers on understanding the experience of systems impacted students and those impacted by the carceral system. And we really want to provide opportunities to meet their needs and their success. And we're just so excited that we're able to continue this work and offer this symposium again for the second year. As we noted and announced in the beginning of our time today together, we received a grant to continue this work in the Rising Scholars Program over the next 3 years. So it's our goal to offer this symposium again for the next 3 years, and we're very excited about that. But this is, to me, what just really keeps us going and drives the work. It's centering our students, right? The ones we've been talking about all day, centering them in the symposium. And so these student panels, for me, are just my favorite part, and they're so wonderful and moving in many ways. So I'm very pleased to introduce Victoria Rocha. Victoria Rocha is our lead peer mentor in the Rising Scholars Program here at Fresno City College. And to be a lead peer mentor, it means that you have to meet certain requirements, leadership characteristics, among other items. And really, because of the time that she has put into the Rising Scholars Program. Victoria has been a peer mentor in the Rising Scholars Program since its inception 2 years ago, right during the beginning of the global health pandemic, right? And so she's been with us the entire time, and even since before then, right? And during the brainstorming kind of birth of the Rising Scholars Program at Fresno City College. And Victoria Rocha is going to facilitate our student panel today. And I also want us all to take a brief moment. I didn't tell her about this, but congratulations are in order because Ms. Rocha recently found out that she was accepted into the Masters of Social Work graduate program at Fresno State. I am more than proud of her, and I think that we all need to manifest her greatness and just give her a brief little round of applause, a virtual round of applause, a physical round of applause. She's worked so hard for this, and needless to say, it is far from easy to navigate higher ed and certainly be accepted into such a program like the MSW program at Fresno State. So I'm proud of you, Victoria. And with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, everyone. Gosh, okay, I'm blushing a little bit. Okay. So yeah, thank you. Like Dr. Meyers was saying, thank you so much for being here today, spending your day with us and just gaining all of this knowledge from all our different speakers. We hope that you were able to see their passion through what they talked about today and able to take some good stuff away today. So today we have our student panel. We have Harold King, who is, I'll let them introduce themselves. I'll just, Harold, you can go ahead and turn your camera on. And then we have Diego Rivera, and we have Terry Meyers, and we have Paul Galvo.
I don't know how to turn my camera on.
It's on.
I've been trying. My name is Harold King. I am a senior at Fresno State, currently interning over at the Pavarello House, where I hope to get hired. Ex-Marine Corps. I spent a lot of time on the streets. I was homeless for about, close to 8 years. Spent a little bit of time in prison. It's been a long road getting here. I'm 64 years old. Ready to get out into the world. I'm a social work major. And I've been enjoying school, but I'm sure glad to get back out into the work.
Thank you, Harold.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, if whoever wants to jump in and go next with your name, your current institution that you're attending, and your major.
All right, if it's cool, I'll go next. My name is Diego Rivera. I go to Fresno City College since 2019, January 2019. My major is nutrition science. I got a big passion, and it's kind of been put along my path, holistic type medicines and remedies through research, and through the medical field and practitioners that I've worked with. 2019, school really helped me out. Fresno City College really helped me out. I give congratulations to Victoria Rocha and all the mentors and counselors there at Fresno City College. If it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would still be on campus, be enrolled. They've done a great job reaching out. They've done a great job kind of showing me the way. And to me, I've noticed with a lot of the counselors that I've talked to, we've had a lot in common, maybe certain situations in our histories and our backgrounds, that we can relate to. So it's good to see like-minded people and people kind of like myself, in these type of positions of success, that I can, that people that come from being incarcerated can reflect on. I've had a troubled, a very troubled childhood, incarcerated, spent most of my juvenile academics was achieved through being incarcerated, and then as an adult, and transitioning from that, realizing that I wanted to change. I wanted to change myself, and realize that I needed some of the stuff that was being forced upon me, like certain counseling, certain types of therapy, realizing that I needed a remedy myself from my own traumas and traumas that I've caused myself, and books and education have really helped me along my way. I was homeless at the time of January 2019. My situation was really tough, and Fresno City College gave me a place to be, and really, really looked out for me. I had to commit myself, and I had to definitely dedicate to what I was doing, but they've offered me housing through Fresno City College, which helps tremendously, because I was sleeping in my car. After being homeless, I was able to got my car, and I started sleeping in my car. I'd be like the first one on campus because I was in my car, so I would, and stuff like that. So them providing housing and the contracts that I have to follow, in order to keep the housing, attending classes, my GPA and stuff like that. But the mentorship has been great. I love Fresno City College and all they do for me. I was a little late running today because we had an event on campus right now, celebrating Earth Day. That was pretty cool. But I'm glad to be here. I'm honored to be asked to be able to present, in front of everyone. Thank you, Terry. Terry has been great. I appreciate all your help, Terry. I couldn't also have done it without you. Cecilia, you guys are great. I love Fresno City College and all the staff and faculty. You guys have really helped me out so much. I really want you guys to know that, because, man, I mean, school has given me a safe place. Just like Terry has mentioned, it's almost like a boundary, with certain people will not cross those limits, and if they kind of won't come and meet you on campus or come to campus or meet you around the library, then maybe you don't need, maybe I realize I don't need that type of company. So it kind of puts that barrier for me in that safe place, where I'm able to really feel comfortable and be myself and kind of develop more and grow. And it's really cool to be so activated on campus and the network, because I feel like I missed a lot of it during my high school years, and just wanted to kind of be rebellious. And now that I'm able to accept everything and communicate with everyone on a better level, on a more mature level, it has helped me out so much. And I just wanted you guys to know I'm very grateful for everything, and I appreciate all the staff and everything that you guys do for us, and the appreciation, and even the recognition that we're taking the steps to and we're receiving the acknowledgments of our hard work and what we're doing. And I just want to say thank you. Yeah, and I feel like if I can do it, anybody else can do it. You know, it seems hard at first, and but all it takes is, all it takes is for you to try and really take those first steps, one step at a time. I love you guys, and thank you. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Diego.
Yes.
Go Terry, Paul, whoever wants to go next.
Hello to everybody. My name is Terry Meyers. I was formerly incarcerated. I just got through doing 36 years. I've been out probably about 4.5 years now. When I got out, the last thing I thought about was enrolling in higher education. I'll be the first one to tell you, I was still trying to figure it out, been gone so long, such a teenager, and coming back out here in society, and things moving real fast. But I knew I had to find something to occupy my time so I wouldn't get caught up. So I went up to the college and enrolled. And let me say, first of all, it's really been a blessing. Coming to the college and meet some wonderful people from all different walks of life. And it's really a beautiful thing. And, because my background, it was really one-dimensional, negative, the gangs, the prison lifestyle and everything. And then to come home and venture on this other side, it has been a blessing. School has helped me out a lot. It had to open a lot of doors for me. I met Victoria, I met Diego, I met quite a few people. A lot of teachers done helped me out. And I'm like Diego. I can't do nothing but give blessings to everybody. As it turned out now, I don't achieve 2 degrees in alcohol, drug counseling, and in social work. So I'm on my way to Fresno State. It's been a journey, but a journey a journey that I like to, it took me to find myself, to see what I can do and what I can't do. And it's beautiful. I don't know how much y'all really can really fathom what I'm trying to say, because I never thought that I'll be achieving degrees, let alone, got accepted into the social work at Fresno State. I'm just on fire. I'm just feeling good, and I like to give thanks to everybody that participated, that helped me, that supported me, because it's been a journey. It's been 1 or 2 times that I wanted to stop, but it ain't really no quitting in me. And then I also made a promise to my mom before she passed that I get a degree. So not only did I get 1, but I got 2. So that's a beautiful thing, and I'm steady pushing, and gonna stay pushing. And I got some people around me that supports me and want me to continue to push on, even though sometimes I'm like, hey, I need a break, but I know it's gonna pay off in the long run. And I do say, one of the times I did get discouraged is when I was messing with that stats. Ooh, that stats was killing me. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the times I almost say, man, forget this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Fresno City College, they had some wonderful tutors. It's really a blessing to come on campus and see all the people that's there to help you. And I had to tell myself, hey man, this is my 3rd try, y'all. I flunked the first 2 times. So this time I pushed everything to the side. Everything. I was on campus from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, Monday through Fridays. And I got an A in it. I'm still on cloud 9. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody that supported me. And higher education, it really changed my mindset. It really took me from the way I used to think, the way I used to act, the way I used to see things to more positive things. And when you around positive things happen, you meet a lot of positive people. So I like to thank everybody and everybody for their blessing and support.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, Paul.
Okay, I guess I'm the last one. My name's Paul Calvo. I am a transfer student here at Stanford. I was at Fresno City College and I transferred here last year. My major is electrical engineering, and thank you guys for putting this together, and thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so I have a series of questions that I'm going to ask our panelists. So whoever wants to go first, what led you to pursue higher education?
I'll go first. Truthfully, I really came on because of the money. But then I wanted better for myself though. I really wanted better for myself. And I, coming home, been gone since I was a teenager. I really had to figure it out. And I wanted better for myself. So that's why I enrolled in City College, to see where it take me, to see where I was at, what I wanted to do. And and it put me on the path of righteousness, put me on the path of a better future for myself and people around me. So that's why I enrolled in higher education.
The next brave soul.
Yeah.
Go. Go.
For me, yeah, it's kind of like Terry said, but yeah, it was a tough time for me back in 2019. I came back to school, and just kind of being homeless. I didn't really have a place to be, and I was working part-time, but it just wasn't enough. I had 2 jobs. It wasn't like, it wasn't creating that stableness that I needed. Or so 2019, I was really kind of, get a hold of my situation. I love to learn, and I was deciding what I was gonna do, and just on the radio, January 2019, it was the extreme registration. I heard it as I was getting ready, and I was like, "That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to Fresno City College and enroll in school." And it was crazy how easy it was at that time because they had everything set up, so you just had to meet each destination on campus, and they kind of did everything for you. But yeah, it was just really a change of situation, wanting to better myself and kind of progress in what I was teaching myself at the time. I was big on educating myself. I didn't really trust institutions too much. Coming from incarceration and having a Native American background and stuff, and being a part of that culture, I didn't really trust institutions too much. And then, but once I got to Fresno City College, I was really surprised on the quality of the academics and the curriculum, and it's been really good. But yeah, being homeless and just really wanting a change, and like I said, school gave me a place to be from morning time till whenever I was done. And Fresno State would stay open until midnight, so I would utilize both libraries to get whatever I get done. Thank you.
I'll go now.
Go ahead, Harold.
Yeah, I went, when I got out of prison, I hit the streets real fast. I just hit them running. This was back in 97. I'm kind of old, but I hit the streets running and got right back into all my old stuff. And then after a while, it just wasn't working anymore. And I got all sucked up. Imagine 6 foot tall, 135 pounds. And I went back in and they sent me back. When I got back out, I didn't really have any place to go. So I went down to the welfare office and talked to a couple workers down there. And one of them said, "Well, what do you want to do?" I said, "Well, I think I can do your job." And that was how I got started in college. I had a young daughter, and it was about the money. They were going to pay me to go to school. I said, "Well, heck, that's easy. I can go to school." When I got to school, I found out that it wasn't an individual thing. This is a team sport. And I am pretty good at team sports. I was in the Marine Corps, and that's a team sport. And I used every available resource that I could get a hold of at Fresno City College. I was in the computer lab. I didn't even have a smartphone when I started college. I'd never had one. So when they were talking about Blackboard, I'm looking around the room, seeing these white things that they use magic markers on, There ain't no blackboard in here, so I had to start from scratch my first semester in school. I'm going, oh, I was lost. And if it wasn't for the people in the computer center there at Fresno City College, I never would have made it out of that first semester. I spent a lot of time talking with Mark. I love Mark like a brother. He helped me so much. My instructors over at City, I don't know about anybody else, but I've never had a bad instructor. I never looked at the evaluations by the students on the instructors. I picked my courses by what time of day they were and when I could go. And I've had great instructors. I'm at Fresno State now. I love it here. Everybody in Project Rebound has each one help one attitude, and I love it. And every time somebody comes up here that needs help, we're ready to help. And I like that attitude. So when they ask me to do something, I'm on it. I've been helped so much by the people around. Goosebumps. I've been helped so much by everybody, including Victoria. I've known Victoria for about, 5-6 years now when we met. And I just love this. I love going to school. I don't know what I'm going to do. I graduate in like 3 weeks. School's over and I'm going to graduate. I'm going to have to go back to work. Oh, no, I want to stay in school, but I can't handle it anymore. I need to make a living. And anybody that's in the social work field, you get here, I will be more than happy to help you. I have the books. Do not buy the books. I have the books. Okay. And you can have my hookup if you want it. And I will help you through all the classes. I have a 3.5 grade point average. And I'm just here to help.
Thank you, Harold. Paul?
Yeah, so what led to higher education was my sister, really. She, at the time, was doing some upper division coursework at Fresno Pacific. She was doing some math class, and she was trying to explain to me what it was, what this certain problem was that she was working on. And I was kind of able to, follow along to where she was surprised, and she made the recommendation to enroll in community college and pursue a degree. I didn't want to, because I figured it would be a waste of time given my criminal record. But I pushed that off for months, and long story short, I was supposed to go and work with the union, welding on the pipeline. That fell through, like, because of some weird thing that happened. And so to me, that was like my sign to go back, because I told my mom and sister I would if that fell through. And so I went to City College, took the, at the time you had to take placement exams. And it was funny because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just went down there and started enrolling, and the lady that was there was helpful, asked me what I wanted to do. And I told her I like to work with my hands. So she was just like, all right, engineering. Right. Like no qualms about it, no doubts. She just boom, put me on there, put that as my major. And, I hit the ground running.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question. What are your academic and career goals?
I guess I'll go first this time, since I've been going the last 2 times. So my academic goals, I for sure want to do a master's. Here at Stanford, they give you the opportunity to do a coterm. So as I'm working on my bachelor's, I can also obtain my master's.
Nice.
So I'm going to do that. But here lately, since I'm all alone up here at Stanford, right? I've had a lot of time to reflect and think when I'm not studying. And at first, when I first got here, I wanted to see if after my master's, I would pursue a PhD in electrical engineering as well. But now that I'm thinking about it and more, and I'm reflecting on the disparities going on in certain communities throughout, not just Fresno, but California, you see it big time up here. I want to pursue a PhD in education and get involved with, making changes, back in Fresno to where like we can set something up that pushes the kids that are in Southwest Fresno, the West Side, East Side, right, to not just. I mean, my hopes would be for STEM, right, to get them, make little engineers out of them, but whatever they desire, right. You don't want to force that on them, but just build a pipeline for the youth to avoid the gang lifestyle, the drugs, what's so common nowadays, right, and focus on, going from high school to City College and then to Fresno State if they want to stay, in the hometown. So I plan on doing I plan on starting a nonprofit that does that, and has an emphasis in STEM. But if I'm being truthful, my ultimate like I would die a happy man is if I could open up my own school in either the West Side or the East Side. I would be happy with that because I think our school system sucks for the youth, and so I would change that.
Yes, it does.
Thank you, Paul. Do you want to go next, Harold?
Okay, I'll go next. I'm already interning where I want to work. I love the Poverello House. I love the people that work there. I love why they work there. I've been part of the population that gets served there. I've been homeless. I've been destitute. And I know my experience with being on the streets. I try and emphasize that with my clients all the time, that I don't know where they're at, but I remember where I was at. I don't want to be there again. I really like it there. I think the pay there isn't the greatest. It's just a little bit more than McDonald's pay. But I think that the money isn't what it's all about. It's more about how I feel when I go home at the end of the day and whether I've been able to help somebody better their situation. I'm just, I've had all that running around for me shit, and I'm done with it. I don't have that energy anymore. And I just like where I'm at. I'm not going to continue with my master's or anything. I'm good with my bachelor's, and I'm ready to get on with it. I'm already a senior citizen. I want to go back to work. I'm going to try and traumatize somebody at the office by dying at my desk. And I've had such a good time going to school. It's really going to bug me not to get up in the morning and head to class.
Thank you, Harold. Terry, you want to go next?
Yes. Right now, my academic goal is in social work. My goal is to open up a nonprofit, which I'm already in the mix of doing, and it's directed at formerly incarcerated. And the reason why I say formerly incarcerated is because being confined for such a long time and coming back out here into society and try to get acclimated back in society, it's a task within itself, especially those that's been gone 20, 25 years or better, technology and everything. And unfortunately, I always say, I was an exception to the rule because I got a lot of friends out here that's going through a lot. And I want to, do things to help them. And I kind of realized we need mental health. We need mental health bad out here. I really realized that, a lot of my friends and people that I know that was in the system that's out here, we don't talk about it, but, they've been traumatized. I've been traumatized. you know. Unfortunately, I've been blessed to have people around me to help me get through it and stuff. So my goal is to help those that's coming out, you know, whether it's in academic, job placement, mental health, you know, to make it more easy, make their transition more easier. You know what I'm saying? To see what they want to do, you know, because one thing I learned, if you give a person a job, he'd think twice about doing something negative. You know what I'm saying? If you give him a job, especially something that he liked doing, he would think twice about doing something negative. So, you know, that's my goal and my objectives is, you know, is to help the community out here in any way I can, you know, which I already do. You know, I don't want no kid to go through what I went through. You know, my favorite slogan is don't do what I did. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do what I did, you headed down the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's my goal, is to be out here in the community, helping those that's been formerly incarcerated get acclimated back in society, so things could be that much easier for them and stuff. You know, it's a task within itself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sitting up here watching a lot of things that jump off right now. You know, and you know, I try to help as much as I can. So I said, let me get deeper in and put myself in that mix to really put myself in a place where I can help people. So that's my goal right there.
Thank you, Terry. Diego, you want to answer, or do you guys want to move to the next question?
So I'll answer. I'll try to make it brief. My academic like goal would be to like I mean, like I said, it's kind of in the holistic field. I really got kind of involved with plants, and you know, and I feel like my path was kind of chosen for me. I've been shown a lot of you know, natural type of remedies that I feel like have helped people. A couple years ago, I had a partner and we created a business. You know, it was based around all plant-based type products. You know, and I was able to like really connect with the community and be out like with the art hop community. This was in about 2015. I had created a label with my partner, and you know, and we were able to distribute really good products, and I was able to like get into a store and stuff at the time, and based off of like sodas and lotions, and it was organic, you know, organic, naturally fermented sodas that were fermented like with plants and herbs and stuff that were like rose, different types of herbs that were fermented, and the probiotics and stuff and the benefits of fermenting and stuff, you know, is really good for human health and the stomach. And so learning a lot of different types of techniques and along the way, and what I've been studying and what I've kind of been shown naturally. And like Terry said, a path and things that, you know, that you're kind of, that you like doing. And I really like evolve myself, you know, with like at my mom's house or with my kids and growing plants and stuff like that. And it's, you can eat and pick and use, and I think that that's a really great type of education as well. Like Paul said, I know like my daughters, they've attended school in the coast, and got a different type of education out there. They grow a lot of some of the stuff that they eat, you know, or that they will have for lunch, and I think that's really cool. And they practice, you know, growing, and their science classes, they practice growing you know, plants. And I think certain types of education like that are really needed, you know, and mental health and stuff that Terry said, all that stuff is really great, you know, and thank you. That's all I have to say.
Okay, so we got really close to closing up, and I do want to allow time for questions. So if there's any questions from the audience, are they able to unmute, or feel free to, or do I ask? Sorry.
No, that's okay. So if there are questions from the audience, you can use the Q&A Zoom feature, or you can also just drop them in the chat. And we actually have, there is one question from Dr. Murphy in the chat. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and pose the question since I saw this one come up. And then again, if y'all want to ask our panelists questions, we invite you to use the Q&A feature that's in Zoom, or of course you can just use the chat feature. So the question for the panelists is, oh, actually this one is specifically for Terry. So this is your question, Terry. So, Terry, how was your transition back into society supported by Fresno City College?
Fresno City College helped me get reacquainted back in society. I mean, they played a big part. You know, I spent a great deal of 8 hours up here when I enrolled in City College, and it really helped me. You know, I believe idle time is a devil's time. So me being up here at City College and around people that's supporting, that want to help me, it helped me transition back into society. It made me see things a little differently. You know, the transition wasn't as smooth as I wanted. And that's really dealing with technology. I mean, you know, being gone so long and coming out here, technology is just, woo, it's forever changing every day, you know? So a lot of my pride and ego caused me to lose out or not achieve right as soon as I could have, because, you know, I was afraid to ask people, you know, or say this or say this, but Fresno City College played a big part. And I tilt my hat off to everybody that that's at City, that participate, that helps me, that help other students that's come on campus. This really is a institution that really helps people. And like I say, it really helped me transition back into society, and it made me a better person. It made me see things more differently and more clearly.
Thank you, Terry. You know, although that question was for Terry, I really think it's a good question for the other panelists. So if you have any thoughts on that and you're willing to share with us, can you just let us know, like, thinking back, right? And if it's been a while, right? And if you can't connect your transition back into society in Fresno City College, what was it about Fresno City College that helped you the most? We heard you talk about several things. The great Mark McNiff came up a couple times, who
Yes.
is a rock in our campus, just a beacon of hope and light for many. You talked about the tutorial center came up a couple times, I believe, right? We heard that a few times. But what is it about Fresno City College that helped you the most?
The people.
Yeah.
It's the people. It's the people. You know, you can't leave EOP out. You know, it's the people. I mean, and for a person to really understand, they really have to come to Fresno City College, and be on campus. I mean, there's tons of support all around you. You know, to me, you can't go wrong if you truly want to change, if you truly want to learn, because it's there for you. It's there. It's people helping you no matter which way you turn. And I'll be the first one to say that, you know, like, you know, it's a couple of people that I met. I can't leave him out. You know, Alex was very helpful to me. Mr. Rodney Murphy. It's quite a few people, you know, that I ran across that helped me. Monique, me talking to her. I mean, and it's a beautiful thing. I tell you, you really have to come on Fresno City College campus and really just see the love and the support that they give, though. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that once you enroll here, you can't go wrong. Because ain't nobody gonna let you go wrong unless you just want to go wrong. You can't go wrong if you enroll in City College. And like I say, I take my blessings. I was able to grab my 2 degrees and head on up to Fresno State. I hope the same thing is up there as it is here at City College. So you know, that's me. It's the people at City College. You know, they got some good faculty. They got, you know, the students, everybody plays a part at City College, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Fresno City College is just probably it's a real community of its own. Everybody from Charles over in the CalWorks. I love Charles. He helped me so much. Great guy. Mark gets mentioned by a lot of people, but the instructors there are all about helping the students out. I never had an instructor that wasn't all about helping me out. I could go into the library and walk up to somebody that was working there and they dropped whatever they were doing to help. You know, I have nothing derogatory to say about Fresno City College. It prepared me to come to state. It really did. And the only thing that scared me about Fresno State is it's so big. That's what scared me here. I didn't think I would fit in at City, you know, because I was older than most of the people there. And I did fit in. I was just one of the crowd, you know, and that was cool.
Okay, if nobody else wants to answer, we can wrap it up. Thank you to the panelists. Give them a round of applause. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything, all your stories and everything you shared. We look forward to seeing your journey and all the things that you accomplish with pursuing your dreams and your passions. Thank you to everybody who joined us all day. I know it's been a long day. And yes, like Dr. Meyers said, we look forward to seeing you in person tomorrow, where we will have our female panelists and other speakers that you can learn some stuff from. Go ahead, Dr. Meyers. Do you want to?
Thank you. Thank you. So I was going to call up Dr. Little to close us out, but wait.
Thank you, Terry.
There's more. There's more. We do got one more question, and since we do have a little time, I want to pose it and ask it to all of you. Okay. It's a great question. They all been great questions. This is a good question as well. How can community colleges, so community colleges in general, right? Because we got folks that are attending virtually from different parts of the region and California. So just keep that in mind. How can community colleges support students from financial aid to transcript to transfer to socio-emotional support? So it's like a general question for community colleges in general, not just Fresno City College, and maybe think about your experience and how other colleges can do something similar.
Is this tailored specifically to community colleges or just institutions of higher education altogether?
Community colleges.
Okay. Honestly, this is like something that I'm witnessing and experiencing firsthand being up here. So City College, in my opinion, does great in supporting the students, right? You know, you know, from the tutorial center down to, you know, just you know, mental health, whatever. If you want to talk to somebody, you know, they have a great sense of community, even the professors, right? Whereas I don't know if they can do a better job, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure they can, right? We can always get better at something, but you know, maybe, I'm not trying to brag because I'm FCC alumni, right? But maybe other community colleges can kind of, you know, pick the brains of what's the people making things happen at Fresno City, and you know, kind of, you know, model their you know, plans or whatever, you know, they have drawn up, or their ideas after that, because it's a completely different environment at the university level, and I have a lot to say about that, but that's why I asked. You said City College, so I'll keep it to community colleges.
Maybe next year we'll do a higher ed theme along with community college. So hold on to that. Anyone else?
No, I'm all right.
And if not, that's also all right. That's okay. I think it's a lot for our audience members to think about. Again, I want to thank the colleagues and people that are joining us from Cucamonga Chaffee College. I'm sorry, Rancho Cucamonga Chaffee. Just all over. So thank you for joining us, Merced as well. So thank you all for joining us, and round of applause, virtual round of applause to physical round of applause to our panelists. The great Victoria Rocha for facilitating, doing an awesome job as always. Thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to ask for Dr. Little to be spotlighted and come up to the virtual stage.
Hello. I want to reiterate what Dr. Mira says. Thank you, panel. You know, I don't think people really truly understand how fortunate we are to have you all sit in front of us and expose yourselves. And some of you have done that over and over again. I've done it, and I know how it feels. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you. And I always tell our our panelists, and I'm saying from the chamber, you all will hear from me, is that I don't think your stories should be shared and your intellectual property should be shared without compensation. And so you'll be hearing from the chamber shortly through Terry about that. He can explain what I mean by that. So thank you for enriching all of us today. I just want to close by saying that I hope that everyone who joined us today embraced the opportunity to listen, learn, and engage, right? Because that's what it's about. Most of all, I hope, my hope is that all of you thought of ways that you can act. And inaction is also an act. And I say that, like I started in the beginning, if you're not in a position to act and you don't feel like acting in accordance to benefiting students, then just don't get in the right way. Just don't create any barriers for us, right? So we appreciate that also. I also want to say that I think it's important for particularly individuals who are on campuses to continue to bring themselves proximate to the challenges, the issues, and the joys of students who have been impacted. That's one of the greatest things you can do, and it's the easiest thing to do, and that's something that a lot of you have done today. So I just want to end by saying thank you. Thank you very much.